I want to just put this up there for you. The man is 33-14 as a starter. When he plays, his teams win. He's one of 7 quarterbacks to debut in the Super Bowl era that has won 70% of his games with a minimum of 40 starts. Look at the names on the screen. There isn't a one of them, I don't think, that hasn't won MVP of the league at one point or another, if not multiple times. And now Garoppolo winds up on there as well. Tannenbaum is going to jump out of his seat. But Diana, I want to start with you as my insider this morning to just give us the details. What exactly is the latest on the Jimmy G trade front?
All right, from talking to sources around the league last night about what they think how this is going to play out, most think that once camp gets going and a team shows that they're desperate, that's when a move will be made. Greeny, I know the news came out yesterday that the Niners are allowing Don Yee, Jimmy G's agent, to seek a trade. But this has been going on behind the scenes for weeks. The 49ers want to trade Jimmy G because, remember, they still need to pay Deebo Samuel. They need to pay Nick Bosa. Jimmy G has a $26 million hit against their salary cap. And by the way, it's important to note, if a team does trade for Jimmy G, he's got 1 year left of a salary of about $24 million. That's a lot. So we're not sure right now if the Niners are willing to take on some of that money, but you have to figure there's got to be a team who thinks that perhaps they're knocking on the door to the playoffs if they're going to pay that much money for Jimmy to come on.
So, Mike T., why do you look so exercised as we're having this conversation?
Because if we were a law firm, Greeny, you just made our closing argument. The object of the exercise is to win professional football games. They win when he plays. What are we doing here? We could go find room to sign Deebo Samuel and Nick Bosa, but they win when he plays quarterback. They average 28 points a game. I love Trey Lance. I don't like him. I think he has a great future, Greeny, but it's a massive question mark right now. Why not keep both of them? It's a 17-game season. There's no reason to trade them.
So to be clear, you're saying keep him A, as your starter, or B, as an insurance policy in case Lance either does not play up to their beliefs or gets injured?
Yeah, I would definitely start him based on the way he's played. It reminds us what we talked about this morning. The New York Jets, early in the 2000s, we had Chad Pennington, a first-round pick. We had an aging Vinny Testaverde. We made that transition. Chad Pennington led us to the playoffs for a number of years. There's no downside, Green, to have Trey Lance to continue to develop behind Jimmy G as long as they're winning games.
It's a complicated question. Let me go to my quarterback this morning. RG3, what do you think of it?
Yeah, Greeny, my first reaction is that if the 49ers wanted to keep Jimmy Garoppolo and start him and allow Trey Lance to continue to develop, they should have came out and said he was their guy at the end of the season. Instead, they kind of left him out to dry. I'm actually shocked that this news came out because I thought that Jimmy Garoppolo was seeking a trade from the second they got eliminated from the playoffs. So for me, it's like Trey Lance needs Jimmy G to not be there. This guy was beloved in the locker room. You saw the stats there. He's won a lot of games for this organization, and his teammates love him. So no matter how you feel about how he plays in clutch situations or whether or not he actually led the 49ers to the Super Bowl, the guy wins football games. And if you want Trey Lance to have a fighting chance to go out there and show you what he's got, then you have to let Jimmy Garoppolo go. And my question is, where does he go at this point? There's nowhere for him to go. Seattle, you're not going to trade him in the division. And maybe, just maybe, if Deshaun Watson gets suspended for a long time, you can go and be the Cleveland Browns and bring him in and afford that salary. But not a lot of people are going to want to bring him in after that shoulder injury and pay him $24 million.
How about it, Diana?
Yeah, and the trade within the division, that is a tough pill to swallow if you're the 49ers, to have the Seattle Seahawks potentially maybe beat you. Mike T., you brought up your situation with Chad Pennington. I know we had a conversation earlier. Sometimes that doesn't always work out. If you trade away the quarterback that was on your roster to a team in your division, that can come back and haunt you. So that's something that they're not going to want to do. But I still think, from the conversations I had, that the Niners' priority is to trade Jimmy. So while, yes, it wouldn't make a lot of sense to go to Seattle, they want to move on from him.
So, Mike T., I understand where you stand from a 49er perspective. But let's just live in a world, and we appear to be in that world, where they're going to trade him. Who should be on the phone with John Lynch right now trying to get him?
I agree with RG3. It has to be the Cleveland Browns. They have a really good football team. We have to assume at this point there's going to be a material suspension for Deshaun Watson. And Jacoby Brissett has played good in spurts, but clearly they could use another quarterback. But to Diana's point, now if you're Cleveland, his value goes down, not up, Greedy, because no off-season program, you're on the precipice of training camp, and you're coming off of a shoulder surgery, his value to Cleveland's going to go down, not up. So I think that's the one spot where it could be a win-win, but that should have happened by now.
Well, so what are we talking about here? I mean, what are we trading for him? What are you giving up for him?
A conditional fourth-round pick, and then if we go to the playoffs and he plays 60% or more, maybe it becomes a third. When we were at the Jets and traded for Brett Favre, that's the structure we used with Green Bay. It was a third-round pick that could go up based on play time and team performance.
Right, and that was Brett Favre. And again, with all due respect to Jimmy, I mean, that's Brett Favre, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Jimmy G's a winner, and sometimes I think he doesn't get the credit for that. We'll see. I want to leave this here for the moment, but we're going to come back to it. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.